Hello there. Today we're going to be talking about false friends, les faux amis. Do you know what these are in English? Have you heard of these before? So yeah, a false friend is a word that sounds like a word in French, but it doesn't have exactly the same meaning. So an example would be, a famous example is, or classic example, is library. Does not mean librairie in French. It's bibliothèque, for example. Or eventually is not éventuellement. So right now I'm going to read a dialogue between Sophie, who is French, who sometimes doesn't know these false friends, and Tom, an English guy, who is trying to understand what she's saying, okay? So listen carefully to the dialogue. Try to note down or understand which are the false friends in the dialogue. And after the dialogue, we will analyze it and talk about all of I think there are 6 false friends in the dialogue. And then I'll give you some more too. Okay, so let's go.
Hey, Tom, do you have the localisation of the new café for later? You mean location? Yep, it's on King Street, right next to the library. No, I don't want to rent the café. I'm not rich. No, location in English means where something is. I see. Okay, that's great. We'll meet at the cafe in King Street then. But first, I need to buy a book, so I'm going to stop at the library to buy one. Wait, you mean bookshop, right? The library is for borrowing books, not buying them. Oh, really? Oops. And by the way, I heard you are getting married eventually. Huh? Eventually? I've only been with Marie for 2 months. You mean I'm possibly going to get married?
Yes, it's true. We have started talking about it.
Okay, that's wonderful. Oh, English is so difficult. You know, I have this friend, Jean-Pierre, who thinks he's bilingual in English, okay? He's like, I'm the best. He always pretends he knows everything. It's so frustrating.
Oh, pretends? You mean he's faking it? Inventing words?
No, I mean he pretends, like he says he knows things, but he doesn't. Oh, I see. In English, pretend means to act like something that's not real. Oh, another mistake. Well, he definitely does not speak currently.
He doesn't speak currently?
Is he okay? Has he lost his voice? What? No, I mean he doesn't speak currently, like fast and correct. Okay, you mean fluently. Oh la la, I need to do more Duolingo. Hey, you know, I got a new job.
Yeah, cool. How's it going?
Very well, very well. My boss is very sympathetic.
Sympathetic? Why?
Because you're having a hard time? No, not at all. I'm fine. He's just a sympathetic guy. I think you mean nice. Because sympathetic means concerned or compassionate in English. Not exactly like sympathique in French. Oh la la, so confusing. I think I'm going to give up English. It's too difficult. No, don't be silly. Your English is great. It's just that, unfortunately, some words are similar. We can thank William the Conqueror for that. Yes, it's true. Well, thank you, Tom. You're so nice. Sympathetic.
Okay, so let's talk about those false friends in the dialogue. So, the first one was location, and in French, location. Not the same meaning. So, what's a location in English? Yeah, it's a place. It's where you are. So, like localisation in French. And location in French, the English of that would be rental, because it's to rent, louer. Okay, so that's the first one. Number 2, we have, well, I said this in the intro, library in English. What is a library? Yeah, it's a place where you borrow books, not where you buy books. Okay, and the French librairie would correspond to bookshop. Okay. Number 3, we have eventually. All right. So it sounds like éventuellement, but it's not. Eventually means finally. So an example would be, eventually we found the restaurant after walking for an hour. Okay. And the French éventuellement means possibly, you know. Okay. So number 4, we had the verb to pretend. So it's sort of similar in meaning to the verb prétendre in French, but not exactly. Pretend in English means, how can we explain this? Pretend is to make somebody believe something that is not true. So you can, for example, pretend to be a crocodile. Faire semblant d'être un crocodile. Whereas in French, prétendre means sort of you act as if. I don't really know the meaning in French. Maybe you can tell me in the comments below. But I know that it's not exactly the same. Il prétend, like in the dialogue, it was il prétend savoir parler l'anglais. So he claims, that's it. He claims that he can speak English. But in English, pretend means he's lying, basically. Complicated for me too. Okay. 5. Currently. Sounds like couramment, but it's not. Currently, what is currently? Yeah, at the moment. So like actuellement. And couramment in French, il parle l'anglais couramment. How would you say that in English? Couramment, sorry, is fluently. Okay, fluently. Sorry, I'm not awake this morning. I need to drink more coffee. That's better. So number 6, Is number 6 in the dialogue? Let's have a look. Yeah. Sympathetic. Sympathetic, an adjective to describe somebody in English. But it's similar in meaning to the French sympathique, but not exactly. It's like a prétend, not quite the same. So sympathetic means understanding. So for example, if somebody is crying, they have lost, I don't know, their dog or something, you can be sympathetic towards this person, meaning you are kind, yes, but also understanding and compassionate. Okay, so that's sympathetic. Whereas the word sympathique in French means just sympa, kind. So not exactly the same. Okay, so those were the false friends in the dialogue, and now I'm going to give you 1, 2, 3, 4 more. Okay, so listen carefully. We have the English word actually. Actually, what does that mean, do you think? So no, not actuellement, but actually is like en fait. It's to say in fact, in reality. An example could be, actually, I don't like chocolate that much. En fait, j'aime pas le chocolat. Whereas the word actuellement means at the moment. Yeah, that would be the translation in English of actuellement, or currently, which is funny because currently is not couramment. Complicated. Right, number 8. the verb to deceive and then the French verb décevoir, not exactly the same meaning again. So deceive means to trick somebody or mislead them. So I will give you an example. He tried to deceive the jury by lying about his alibi. So it is to make somebody believe something that's not true. So it's, not the same as décevoir, which is in English to disappoint, which means, oh, je suis déçu. Whereas deceive is lying, it's a stronger word. Okay. Next, comprehensive. The adjective comprehensive sounds like compréhensif, but it's not exactly the same. So comprehensive means it covers everything. I'll give you an example. It will be easier. The guide is a comprehensive overview of the city's history. So, for example, what that means is the guide about the city of Rouen, for example, gives you a lot of information, and all the information, it is comprehensive. Yeah, difficult for me to translate into French. And whereas, what is whereas? I keep saying whereas. Do you know this one? It's like alors que, whereas. Whereas compréhensif in French is, in English, would be translated as understanding. A bit like, similar to sympathetic before. Understanding, empathetic, sympathetic. Sort of an example. Mon professeur est très compréhensif quand j'ai des problèmes. Okay, and the last one, number 10, engaged. Not exactly the same as engagé in French. So often we use the word engaged in English to mean qu'on doit se marier. They got engaged last year and plan to marry soon. And in French, as you know, because you are French, engagé can mean hired, like embauché. Il a été engagé comme assistant. So that was the last one. Right, well, thanks for listening. And as always, you can watch the video again with subtitles. You can click on the little CC if you're on a telephone, or something else if it's on the computer. I can't remember. You can slow down the video if you click on the what do we say? The paramètres. Click on the little wheel and click on speed, slower. And under the video, as usual, there is the transcription of the dialogue, the list of false friends, and some games to play. So, and maybe as another thing you can do, which is can help you to learn them, is in the comments below, try to write a little mini dialogue or text using some of these words. So location, eventually, pretend, sympathetic, etc. Okay, well, I'll see you next week. Have a nice weekend. Bye-bye. Or week. I don't know when you're watching this video. Ciao.